Roundup is supported by Vonk, the recruitment advertising platform trusted by over 350 global enterprises and staffing agencies, including Adecco, PwC, and Software One. Vonk helps employers connect with top talent through AI-powered job distribution, deep ATS integrations, and recruitment intelligence that drives smarter, faster hiring decisions. And right now, they're taking things to the next level. Vonk has just unveiled something big, powered by AI, built to bring speed, empathy, and intelligence back to the recruiting experience. A new era of hiring is about to begin. If you want to stay ahead of the curve, sign up and subscribe to the mailing list at vonk.com. That's VONQ.com.
There's been more of scientific discovery, more of technical advancement and material progress in your lifetime and mine than in all the ages of history.
Hi there, this is Matt Alder. Welcome to the November Roundup episode of the Recruiting Future podcast. If you've not listened to Roundup before, it's a short review of the episodes that I've published in the last month to make sure that you don't miss out on the valuable insights that my guests are sharing. I hope you've been enjoying the live Roundup episodes that we've been doing over the last few months. This month sees a brief return to the old school pre-recorded format, but don't worry, Roundup Live will return in January. Recruiting Future helps talent acquisition teams drive measurable impact by developing strategic capability in foresight, influence, talent, and technology. If you're interested in finding out how your TA function measures up in these 4 critical areas, I've created the free Fit for the Future assessment. It'll give you personalized insights to help you build strategic clarity and drive greater impact immediately. Just head over to mattalder.me/podcast to complete the assessment. It only takes a few minutes. With that in mind, I've sorted each of the November podcast interviews into these important categories of foresight, influence, talent, and technology. So let's start with foresight and building proactive, future-facing strategies. Although history never repeats itself exactly in the same way, studying the past can very often give us vital clues to what the future will look like. Episode 749 was a special interview that I recorded live on stage at TA Tech Europe with Jeff Taylor, the original founder of Monster.com and the soon-to-be-launched Boom Band. We talked about what's changed in recruiting in the last 20 years and what hasn't, why resumes and job postings are failing, why candidate trust is at an all-time low, debated AI's true impact on hiring, and explored what recruiting could become. Talent acquisition is being tested like never before. Teams are continually being asked to do more with less, hiring volumes remain unpredictable, and technology is evolving faster than organizations can adapt. However, the fundamentals haven't changed. TA leaders still need to deliver the right people at the right time in a cost-effective way, but how do you build that capability when the ground keeps shifting? How do you create structure, repeatability, and continuous improvement during constant disruption? My guests on episode 745 were Tony de Graaf and Marcel Rutten, co-founders of the Recruiting Excellence Foundation. In our conversation, they shared their framework for building high-performing TA teams and explained how to pursue recruiting excellence even in fast-moving, uncertain times. Also, when you listen to this interview, listen out for details on how you can take part in their forthcoming Global State of TA report by getting your own free maturity assessment. So, let's move on to influence. Influence isn't just about hiring managers and stakeholder relations, it's a whole process of marketing jobs and persuading the right talent to apply. Application volumes are continuing to rise, but finding quality hires still remains a challenge. The usual suspects that tend to get the blame are candidates using AI, economic uncertainty, and a continuing decline in job board effectiveness. However, Research suggests a more fundamental issue that many organisations are overlooking. The words in job descriptions matter more than most teams realise. Non-inclusive language is actually a key factor that stops many qualified candidates from applying. My guest on episode 744 was Pil Burrell, CEO and co-founder of Lysa. In our conversation, Pil shared research on how language shapes candidate behaviour, while LLMs reinforce bias, why structure, clarity and transparency really matter, and we discussed how to build data-driven recruiting communications. With AI and automation playing an increasingly larger role in recruiting, it's essential to recognise the consequences of lost human connection. Trust is absolutely a critical element here, and employers need to ensure they aren't losing the emotional intelligence and genuine connections that build trust and influence with candidates. My guest on episode 746 was Gal Borenstein, CEO of the Borenstein Group. In our conversation, he talked us through his framework for building genuine digital trust in an increasingly automated world. The next key theme is talent. Talent strategy is still at the centre of everything that TA does, and we covered many different aspects of it in the November interviews. Most hiring currently focuses on assessing a mix of skills and experience. However, there's a deeper layer that often gets overlooked. Companies talk endlessly about culture and values, yet very few know how to genuinely assess them. This matters especially for purpose-driven organisations, whether it's a B Corp, a sustainability-focused business, or any company with a strong mission. Finding people whose values are truly aligned isn't just a nice to have, it's essential. My guest on episode 742 was Leon Richards, co-founder of Good Talent, an executive search and leadership advisory consultancy for value-led organisations. In our conversation, he explained how values-based recruiting actually works, why human judgment really matters, the importance of alignment, and what responsible AI use really looks like. Many organisations treat accessibility as just a compliance checkbox, checking the box to meet legal requirements and then moving on. But this mindset misses massive opportunities. When companies design truly inclusive hiring processes, they don't just help candidates with disabilities, they also improve the experience for everyone. My guests on episode 747 were business psychologists Brittany Davis and Laura Kate Ruttle from Talergy. In our conversation, they shared valuable advice on building an accessible assessment strategy, and we discussed how AI is shaping a whole new future for inclusive hiring. The final theme is technology. Technology is the biggest driver of change, but results from the over 200 TA leaders who've already taken my Fit for the Future assessment, it's shown up as a consistently weak area for talent acquisition. The tech landscape is currently very confusing, and Recruiting Future is on a quest to provide case studies and clarity. So, the tech landscape is moving at an unprecedented speed. AI tools that seemed far-fetched concepts just a few years ago are hitting the market and actually delivering results. But the adoption is messy and uneven. Some employers are experimenting with AI-driven interviews, while others worry about bias and legal risks. Everyone's trying to figure out which tools actually work and how to integrate them without breaking what already exists. So, how should talent acquisition leaders navigate this revolution? My guest on episode 743 was Josh Burson, one of the world's leading HR technology analysts. In our conversation, Josh revealed why TA is facing a reckoning, why transformation is inevitable, the role that human recruiters should be playing, and what smart TA leaders should be doing right now. The AI agent marketplace has become a confusing landscape full of chatbots and co-pilots that aren't actually agents, claiming revolutionary capabilities. But genuine AI agents represent something fundamentally different. They're digital workers that can handle complex, multi-step processes independently, making decisions and adjustments along the way. The technology is already here and working, and the employers succeeding with it are focusing on change management, not just technology deployment. So, what are the early results looking like? And how will agentic AI change recruiting in the months and years to come? My guest on episode 748 was Tom Zabrecki, founder and CEO of Talent Pilot. In our conversation, Tom shared case studies demonstrating how AI agents are reshaping recruiting workflows, the power of instant job interviews, and where employers are getting the most value from the agents that are already out there. My thanks to all of my guests in November. Don't forget, if you haven't already, you can benchmark your talent acquisition capability quickly and easily by completing the free Fit for the Future assessment. Just head over to mattalder.me/podcast. It only takes a few minutes and you'll receive valuable insights right away. You can follow this podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can also search through all the past episodes at recruitingfuture.com, where you can also subscribe to the weekly newsletter, Recruiting Future Feast, and get the inside track on everything that's coming up on the show. Roundup will be back live in January, and in the meantime, there are some really, really great interviews being published on Recruiting Future during December. Thank you very much for listening.
This is my show.